All right. Welcome back to another episode of my movie review series. Episode 144. Now, last week I said I was going to mix it up with Sylvester Stallone once again. But I didn't say what movie I was going to do. I said that, it's a movie that he's not punching out nobody, he's not shooting nobody, making little explosions here and there. But yeah, Daylight, 1996. Of course, starring Sylvester Stallone, Amy Brenneman, Viggo Mortensen. Viggo Mortensen before we knew him as Viggo Mortensen. And Dan Hedaya, J. O. Sanders, Karen Young, Claire Bloom, Barry Newman, Stan Shaw. She's not mentioned in this list, but Danielle Harris is also in this movie. Oh, yeah. And Stallone's late son, Sage Stallone, is also in this picture. But yeah, I tell you, man, this movie, though, out of all the movies, out of all the Stallone films that I have seen over the years, out of all the Stallone movies that, I keep saying that The Expendables, is my favorite movie, my second favorite movie of all time, and it's a Stallone film. But guess what? That may be my second favorite of all time. Second favorite movie of all time. Behind Terminator 2, The Expendables, second favorite. That may be it, but this movie right here, Daylight, this is my favorite Stallone film, period. I mean, you got this ordinary man doing extraordinary things. Stallone, he pulls off this movie. He pulls off this role that is 100% fit for Bruce Willis. I mean, Bruce Willis. He's the ordinary guy that does extraordinary things in his films. Not in the later Die Hard films, but in other films in general. Ordinary guy does extraordinary things. Yeah, so yeah, with this movie, you think, yeah, you could get Bruce Willis to playing this role, right? No brainer, right? But yeah, you get Sylvester Stallone. I mean, this guy is pretty much like a Superman in his other films. Demolition Man, The Specialist, Assassins. Yeah, he's like Superman in those films. He can do some extraordinary shit in those films. Especially in the Rambos. Extraordinary shit. This guy's like Superman. He's freaking invincible. But then you get him in this movie right here. You can see that he's doing a nice little transition in his in this point in his career. I mean, dude's already in his 40s at this point. Yeah, so he's doing a nice little transition. He's starting to do these more humane characters. So yeah, you play this guy named Kit Latoura. Kit Latoura, a former EMS chief. Yeah, EMS, Emergency Medical Service. – 'Former chief of 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 emergency medical service. – 'Former in New York City. And yeah, you know, uh, a huge holdup. Not exactly a holdup. It was more like a carjack. But yeah, this guy, not Stallone, but I'll get to it. Let me get to this first. This guy, he's a very important man. He got this briefcase attached to the chain he's handcuffed to. He about to get into his car. Next thing you know, you got these jackers coming in, and they were ready for him. They had the bolt cutter. They took the case, took his car, sped out of there. The cops are chasing them. This important businessman. He gets on the phone, and he got the his tracker activated, and the cops is now chasing these people. And then next thing you know, they head into the Jersey Tunnel. Now this tunnel, connects from Jersey to Manhattan, but it's right below the Hudson River. So these guys driving erratically, trying to evade the cops. They hit a truck that is carrying toxic waste. We get a huge spill. We get stuff is flammable, so we get a huge spill, and then everything inside the crash. The shit ignites. The shit ignites. Huge explosion right along through the tunnel. Get this huge explosion. This huge, spectacular explosion. I mean, wow. Great effects in this movie, I'll tell you that. It is huge, spectacular explosion. Okay. Everything in this tunnel is getting destroyed. I mean, you got like huge, almost Independence Day like flames just bursting right through this tunnel. Certain individuals that we're going to be acquainted with in this movie, of course the only survivors, inside that tunnel, they're the only survivors. These individuals, they all get hit with the explosion. Most of them duck for cover. Yeah, they all duck for cover, but yeah, they all get hit with this explosion. A lot of other people in this tunnel, you get, from one end to the other, you get shitload of debris. Yeah, everything breaking apart. Cars are crashing. Cars are getting crushed by the concrete blocks, breaking down. And it is just complete chaos, complete bedlam inside this tunnel. Okay. Not to mention the huge fireball is blowing right through. I mean, Jesus, it's like hell on earth that just opened up. But yeah, a few people that have survived the explosion, you know, now they are in huge trouble. I mean, you thought the tunnel being caught on fire with that crash that started the whole thing was something. Now they have to worry about loss of air because tunnel is sealed off from both ends. You're not going to go to the Manhattan side. You're not going to go to the Jersey side. So with the former AMS chief Kit Latora, now working as a New York cab driver. Okay, he was on his way inside the tunnel, and then you got the huge explosion coming in. Stallone fashion. He covers himself. Even though he's sitting inside the car. It's just instant reaction. He just so yeah. The way he moves, man, almost like a dance. Yeah, he just so yeah, yeah, he's on his way into the tunnel. He got a couple of fares in the back because he's the cab driver now. He's no longer the chief, so he's the cab driver. So yeah, he got a couple of fares in the back. He's on his way into the tunnel. This huge explosion, just fire, just booms right through, just barrels right through, and he sees all of these. He sees the tunnel just completely collapse when crashing right down on the cars in front of him. Hmm. Yeah, now this is a huge state of emergency. So yeah, immediately he gets out and he started going. He started going to help him out. I mean, those survival skills just kicks in just like that. Yeah, because he's a former EMS chief, so you know exactly what to do in a situation like this. Yeah, he goes in. He goes in. He tries to help out some people. Um, one of the cat fairs, you know, she questioning. I thought you were a cab driver. Yeah, I'm a driver. Come on. So yeah, everybody inside the tunnel though, you know, they're regaining consciousness and they're the survivors, of course, they're regaining consciousness and they're trying to see what the hell's going on. They're trying to figure out what's going on. You know, now a police officer named George Tyrrell, played by Stan Shaw, you know, he's trying to see what's going on in the Manhattan Inn. Everything is sealed off, so he's trying to see what's going on. And he's looking around and he's seeing a lot of dead bodies here, and then you start to see some survivors. So, he just telling them, people trying to ask him what's going on. He trying to tell them, he don't know. He trying to get information himself for his walkie, and he trying to tell them to stay put. He tell them to stay put. And he trying to come back and see if he can find some more survivors. So yeah, we got chaos in here inside the tunnel, chaos outside the tunnel with Latora trying to he's trying to help, but people that are on the job, the current EMS, the current EMS service, EMS um, servers, the current EMS, you know. Yeah, you don't work here, Latora, get out of here. Yeah, but he's trying to but Latora, he's trying to tell them, what they can do, because he's just trying to help. But they're not listening to him, so you figure go to the control office, try and convince them that you know try to convince them that there may be some survivors in there, and he wants to get in there and try and get them out. So with the chaos that's going on inside, you got this woman named Madeline. Madeline. I'm gonna say Madeline. This woman named Madeline. Yeah, she wakes up you know, seeing what's going on, and she see this prison bus that was a few cars ahead of her. This prison bus turned over, but there's people, the inmates, these juvenile delinquents, they're inside. They're still alive. Every single one of them. Only person that's dead is the driver. So they trying, and they're telling Madeline to get get them out. She said that she's going to get help. Yeah, one of them, like, help! You are help! You are our help! So so they're telling her, yeah, the keys. The driver got the keys. The keys is in the ignition. You need to just get the keys and unlock this door. So Madeline, she gets to the door. One of them pointing to the exact key that they used, to unlock to get the lock on. So Madeline, she gets the lock open and gets them free. So all of them except for one, this kid named Mikey, who is extremely scared. You know, yeah, he's sitting in the back of the bus and he is just like crying, scared. Yeah, so Madeline, she tried to convince him to come with her. One of the inmates, yeah, she just fires out. Hey, Mikey, we all scared. You can just get it crack sucking ass out of here. So Mikey, he says, okay. You gotta get noisy with these kids. Yeah, so Mikey and the female inmate, they both gets out. Madeline, she tried to get out, but the huge cable wire, it's a huge, it's now a live spark plug, and what happened to power lines? You see a down power line, do not go near it. Well, in this case, this power line, this huge cable, it is just going crazy, sparking like crazy. So, um, police officer George Tyrell, you know, yeah, he sees this in the distance. So he's telling the surveillance camera, whoever's behind the surveillance camera, and he's hoping that his girlfriend, who's working at the office, is behind the surveillance camera. So he's trying to get her attention. Yeah, baby, you're in there. I need you to cut the power, baby. I need you to cut the power. How does he cut the power? How does he cut the power? Cut the power. Cut the power. And so, Madeline, she's trying to handle the wire. She's found, because she recited something from her days, and from her days from the scouts, I guess. Because when you're in a situation where lightning strikes, be safe inside the car because tires are made of rubber. So she takes off her boots, put her hands inside, and she's grabbing the wire. And she's trying not to get electrocuted, but at the same time she's trying to keep it from trying to keep the sparks from touching the now leaking gas that is around the prison bus. So she's wrestling with the wire here. And George trying to tell anybody who is watching that camera to cut the power. Latura, he's inside the control office. He's seeing a whole bunch of chaos going on in there. Everybody, they're like just here and there, and nobody's watching the monitors. He's seeing what's going on in the monitors. Anybody watching these monitors? Yeah, so people start to turn around. They see what's going on right there. And so George's girlfriend Grace, she sees him. She sees him, and she sees him, and she sees him, signaling to, cut the power, cut the power. Yeah, so yes, she got the signal. She's telling the head guy to cut the power. Laturo, he's also telling the head guy to cut the power. You don't cut the power right now, that woman's dead. And so, yeah, so, they move the camera over where she's at. She's handling the wire. Yeah, so, you don't cut the power right now, that woman's dead. So, they hit the button. Power is cut. Madeline, yeah, she's still handling the wire. Power is dead now. So she throws the wire, gets out the way, and as the power goes out on that live cable, it touched right down on the gas, the leak gas, and nothing happened. 40% safe. Yeah, like I said, man, chaos inside the tunnel and outside the tunnel. Yeah, so Latour, he tried to straighten things out here outside the tunnel, and he pretty much trying to convince himself and a few old friends that are still working as EMS to let him back in because he's the only person that can do this. So they bring out this model of the entire tunnel. You know, this old model. Yeah, they were still putting this together when America was still fighting World War One. Yeah, so take it apart. You see the model, and you see this. The two tunnels, the riverbed, the river itself. Now, now they're trying to devise a plan on how Latour can get in, and the only way that they could get in, there's a section of this model that is unfinished, but they could, but they it was used for people were spending 36-hour shifts trying to put that thing together. So yeah, it was used for chapels, it was used for restaurants, bathrooms, anything you can find in that certain area, that certain spot. Yeah, so if there's any way that they can get Latour in there, Latour found a way. There's a big fan that spins constantly, and right now that fan is the only air that those people in that tunnel got. So he spins that fan to tell them that's the only way he can get in. Yeah, so Latour, they get to the actual fan. Now this thing is on a timer, like a 1 minute timer. But as that minute starts to wind down, the seconds it's just getting much less and much less. Now he gets to that one fan. He got to get through at least three other whirling fans. Once they slow down for that 1 second stop, he got to slip right through. Otherwise, you'll be chopped up. So yeah, he slips. He slips through these fans. Yeah. Once he go through, he can't come back up, obviously, because he'll be chopped up. So yeah, he slips through these fans. And man, I tell you, the last fan he goes through, all of that air blowing all throughout the entire system. boy, oh boy, he gets taken for a long ride. And man, I tell you, I heard this guy, my personal hero, Sylvester Stallone, scream the biggest scream you would never hear from any other man. I mean, boy, oh boy, oh boy. So yeah, so yeah, he gets taken for a ride right through this tube, and yeah, I'm not even going to mimic the scream, but still, the biggest scream you ever hear from a man, and it came from my personal hero. One of my personal heroes, but my personal hero. So yeah, I tell you, man, he gets to the he gets to those fans. He gets taken for a ride, and yeah, he climbs up. There's a sewer cover, so he takes an explosive, plants it right there on the cover, and as George on the surface, kind of sort of surface, he's still inside the tunnel, but still, as George on the surface gets out of the way, the sewer gets out of the way of the car that is sitting on top of the sewer cover, you know, with, Latour, he puts the explosive right there on the cover, detonates it, boom, and George, he got out of the way, just a split second early. So yeah, you know, another second he would have been dead. But yeah, cover pops off, knocks the car out the way. Latour, he comes up, everybody is relieved, they are saved, and then, they got some false hope because, they don't see nobody else coming through the hole. So yeah, Latour, he's the only one. His ears is ringing. Everybody, they're screaming at him. Where's everybody else? Yeah, his ears is ringing. He's looking around, trying to evaluate the situation. How many people are there? How many men? How many women? Any kids? And yes, there are some men. There are some women. One child, Danielle Harris. Yeah, she's like 14 years old when she's in this movie. So little Jimmy Lloyd, all grown up, kind of, sort of. Yeah, from Halloween 5, give it a few more years. And plus, she was in the Seagal film too, Marked for Death. So yeah, give it a few more years. You see this little girl grow up. Of course, we all know that she grows up into a smoking hot chick, a smoking hot mom now. Yeah, now with 2 kids. So yeah, yeah, at that time, 96, 14-year-old girl, amongst all these people, amongst all these survivors, and yeah, there's one dog named Cooper. There's an old rich couple is taken care of because that's the only family that they have because their son died a few years prior. So yeah, their dog Cooper, only family member they have. So yeah, Latour, he's looking around, his ears is ringing, hey, he just set off an explosion right in front of his face. Yeah, his ears is ringing. So yeah, he's seeing a whole bunch of people. He sees Madeline with the walkie-talkie, and earlier he was trying to get in contact with her before he ever got down there. So yeah, so he gets up, he goes to her, after the female prisoner asks him, yeah, "Are you it?" "Yeah, I'm it." "Hey, you the one with the walkie-talkie?" "Yeah, you the one? You on one with the radio?" "Yeah, I thought it was clear that nobody shouldn't come down. Nobody shouldn't go in there. Sorry, it was a lousy reception." Yeah, so so we now have um a cop. We now have a cop. We now have a family of three. We now have an old couple with their dog, and we got at least I think four prison inmates, and that was it. Oh, Madeline too, and one woman, by herself, and Latour got to help out all of these people, help them out, get them out that tunnel, and get them to daylight. So yeah, but yeah, there's one other person that was in that tunnel too. Yeah, this sports celebrity. You know, he do these commercials for this sports company. He's a pretty big name. Got $1,000 cell phone and don't work in there. So, but yeah, he think he can find a way out of the situation. But unfortunately, the chasm that he is climbing up is not stable, and it's going to collapse on him anytime soon. But this guy, he's a sports celebrity, lots of money, lots of ego. He's not going to listen to Latura because he's been in situations that is a lot more hairier than this. So Latura, he tried to tell him to come on down, join the rest of the group. We'll find another way out of this situation. But dude's kind of hard headed, and he's not going anywhere but up. Yeah, so Latour, he just tells him, he hopes he make it. Yeah, so he, yeah, so yeah, Roy, hope he make it. Yeah, so he goes right through the wormhole that this guy made for himself, just so he can climb up the this rocky chasm. Yeah, I always make a little bit Latour. Next thing he know, there's a piece of the ceiling. It breaks down and it's starting to fall right down. A whole bunch of debris is starting to fall right down on him, and more of it, more of it. It's starting to fall. So he starts to climb right back down. He gets on his feet. He gets his feet on ground. He looks up, and all that shit comes crashing right down on him, kills him. Yeah, he may always make it, but he didn't make it through that one. So yeah, Latour and one other inmate that was climbing in happened to be Stallone, Sylvester Stallone's son, his late son. Uh, you know, now, but yeah, but yeah, he's telling him, yeah, to keep on moving, go, go, go. Yeah, so Sonny Boy jumps out, Daddy jumps out. There's a huge explosion because Roy didn't make it. So yeah, there's a huge explosion, and boom, another person, one of the prison inmates that thought he was in charge, he get hit by one of the debris. It goes right through, stabs him in the chest, Yeah, so the people that were trying to help each other, they're now trying to help him. Yeah, he wants his last wish for one of them to find his father and tell him that he was trying to help people down there. So yeah, the rich old man he tells him, yeah, he'll find him, he'll find him. And the poor boy, he assures the old man, yeah, his father's not going to believe him. And there you have it. He passed away. I'll tell you, man, this movie though, it's exciting, but at the same time, it's very emotional. But yeah, it is the power of the human spirit that really gives off a lot of hope. So yeah, Latour, he now, you know, he has one casualty on his hands, and with his back history, that wasn't the only casualty that he had. So yeah, when one of them recognizes his name, yeah, she read his name. She read about him in the paper, some type of scandal. But this is new. This is the newspapers we're talking about. Reporters, they'll write anything to make the story sound interesting. Only Latour, when Madeline asked him about what happened to him, why did he get fired, he told her the solid truth. And everything that was said in the papers, Latour, he told the real story to Madeline. Yeah, and Madeline, she's a playwright, so she know. Yeah, so she know the game. She know how the game is played. Yeah, she's a writer. She can come up with the rest. On how things actually happened and how the media can spin it out of control just to make it sound juicy. So with all of this that's going on, Latour has a nice little idea. Well, wait. With all this that's going on, they see that the tunnel is getting ready to collapse because there is now water breaking through from the Hudson River from above. The Hudson River is now breaking through the tunnel. And I tell you, man, yeah, the woman from the family of three, yeah, she just said it all. Oh God, this is too much. Yes, everybody is standing around watching this water come in. Yeah, so now that now not only that they have to worry about losing air in this tunnel, but now that they have to worry about this cold ass water coming in, and the water is least of their problem at that moment because now that they have to worry about hypothermia, the water is 36 degrees, so what they have to worry about is hypothermia. Your body temperature shuts down. You think you're tired, but you're really getting dead. So, yeah, but that's not going to happen because we're all going to work together. Yeah, so everybody know now they have to stay in groups. They have to get on top of the car dams to stay high and dry. So So Latour, he now gets the idea that he got to use an explosive to try and stop the water from coming in any more further. And when the group hears the word explosive, they all start to go crazy. They start to yell at Latour, but let him explain. Let him explain. Yeah, so use the explosive in a certain area, but it's going to use. It's going to be hopefully creates a nice little blockage, so the water it will not be coming in as quickly as it is right now. Yeah, so they're trying. Yeah, so they're yelling at him, trying to see what he can do. No wonder he got people killed. Yeah, how did he know that he can stop the water? He don't. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know anything. Oh no, we're not gonna make it another hour unless I shut that thing down. That I do know. Yeah, so he goes over there. He does his thing, but he needs Madeline's help to for him to do his thing. Yeah, so uses his training. That this is Stallone we're talking about. So yeah, we're gonna put some strength into this action. Yeah, so he pretty much do like some monkey bars climbing. Next thing you know, yeah, he does the one arm pull up like he did in Rocky 2. You know, takes the wire that he has, the explosive wire, with the explosive at the end of it, jams it into the wet wall. Yeah, so he climbs right back over to Madeline. Yeah, she got the charger. He tells her to hold it tight. She got the charger right in her hands. He climbs right back over to her, starts it up. We're hot. Now go. Yeah, so she tries to get clear. She asks him, what about him? Yeah, the hell with me. Go. Go. The hell with me. Yeah, so he sets the charge, praying that the explosives stay in there. Stay in there, stay in there. Yeah, so he sets the charge. Boom. Yeah, he hits the trigger. Boom. The wall blows. Starts to create like a huge mudslide. And the wall blows, starts to create like a huge mudslide. And yeah, he is now hauling ass underwater. Now, when I say that he's hauling ass underwater, and it's not like I'm saying that he's swimming, but check it. This dude is trying to run. The water's like waist high, and he is trying to run like you usually see him in Rambo or Rocky. Stallone is trying to run while he's waist high in water. But yeah, he does haul ass though. Yeah, because he got this huge, um, pretty much like a metal barrel is rolling right behind him. Yeah, so he is hauling ass. This metal barrel is rolling right behind him. He looks back and then he takes a nice little dive for it. Grabs Madeline, take her to the wall, and the barrel rolls right past both of them. They take cover from the huge explosion that he made. This is an explosion called a blowout because it was huge. I mean, very very powerful. So once the blowout was complete, we got the huge blockage and the water stopped coming in momentarily. So now they're trying to. So now the group is going to try to figure out how to get out of here. Not only that they're going to try to figure out how to get out of here, but now that they have another problem on their hands because George here machines down the Manhattan Inn. He comes back. He alerts the group, calling for Latara. Latara. He hears this and he's not. No, they're not thinking about the pressure. Yeah, because as the people from topside is not working to dig themselves in, they're going to create more problems for the survivors inside. So and with all of that going on, one of the car dams, it raises up. It pretty much clips pretty much clips George from behind, and now he's stuck underwater. He's stuck under the car. And of course, the explosion for the blowout, it collapsed right under. It collapsed right under him. That's why the car came up because the explosion. I think it was I think not from the blowout, but I think it was explosion from from Latura's entrance. you know, it started to the floor pretty much collapsed under George, and he's now pinned down with a car on top of him, and his neck is broken. Yeah, so Latura he goes in there, you know. There's no way he's gonna lift that car up off of him. And so, he opens up the hood, takes a pipe out, and tells George, pretty much pleading, you don't let it beat you. Breathe in and out. Come on, George. Breathe. Come on, George. Yeah, so he's telling George to breathe through the pipe. So you can try and get some air, but George, he's in very very rough shape right now. So and this thing, Latour knows. He sees the survivors coming to help him. Okay, yeah, the people that he went to help. They are now coming to help him. Yeah, so the truck that is pinning George down, it got some boards on the back of it. Yeah, so they are taking these boards, they're taking these planks, and they're gonna try and lift the truck off of them. Now, Latora, he and the father of the group of three, his name is Stephen. They're in front of the truck, ready to lift. Everybody else, they got the boards at the one side of the truck. They got them stuck underneath, and a couple of the women, they're helping George. They're helping George. They're trying to they're telling him that they're with him and everything like that. Yeah, so they got George. The women got George. The the men and Madeline, she got they got the boards over there at the truck. In the boards under the truck. Stephen and Latora, they're in front of the truck. Now they're all ready to lift this sucker Yeah, 1, 2, 3, left. Yeah, they got him up. They pull George out. They get this big plank, used as a stretcher, put George on it. Latour takes off his belt, put it around George's head. I tell you, man, that was one hell of a scene, though. Very, very powerful. I mean, I just gave it to you in full detail, but yeah, that was a very powerful scene because, the music in this movie, the music, especially the music, I mean, the music by Randy Edelman, man, very, very powerful score. Very, very good stuff. Tell you, this movie, though, Daylight, like I said, one of my favorite, one of my favorite movies, but my favorite Stallone movie ever. Because it is a very, very powerful film. In certain situations, what would you do to help your fellow man? You got this EMS, this former chief of EMS. He coming in. He's helping this group of survivors. But they turn it around and they start to help him. Yeah, and he tells them, yeah, you're doing great. Yeah, together we can do anything. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, left. And they get George on their shoulders and they carrying him to safety, kind of, sort of. They're not safe yet, but still, they got George out of there. But unfortunately, he's not disabled. He got a broken neck. He's laying on a board, and there's no way he's going to go any further. The group did. Unfortunately, they had to leave George behind, but under George's request that he does get left behind because he can't go no further, and so he tells Latour to take the bracelet that he found under his bed earlier that morning, and he give it back to Grace. Yeah, so as Latour found some dry ground, they all had to go there, but leave George behind. And George, he's drifting away. He just says to himself, as if he's talking to Grace right in front of her. He just said to himself, I love you, Grace. I'm sorry. Yeah, he said he never told her that, he never had a chance to tell her that he loved her. But he always knew. And that was his plan for tonight. He was earlier in that day, he was telling Grace, he found the bracelet under his bed and he'll give it to her tonight, along with something that he has to tell her. And of course, he was going to tell her that he loved her. But yeah, he had that chance because, the situation that he and the rest of the group were in. So yeah, when Latour, he found a dry ground, yeah, when he found the dry ground, you know, he sees that it was the old um containment area that was unfinished, but it was used for anything, bathroom, church, kitchen, anything. Yeah, so when he found the high ground, he saw that statue of the crucifix, Jesus on the cross, and when he saw the image of Jesus, and he had to make himself a little prayer because he needed that. he need the higher power to get him out of this because he don't know if he's gonna get himself out. He don't know if he's gonna get the group out. But they all work together. They all try to get out. Now when they found the dry ground, you know the cold as hell, but they gotta fight the cold. They gotta fight the cold. So stay in groups, stay together, fight the cold. Use each other's body warmth. Yeah, so everybody stay together. But the old couple with the dog, they found out that the dog didn't quite make it. Yeah, the chain broke when the old man was trying to get him through the dry ground. Of course, they had to swim through some water to get there. But yeah, the chain broke and he couldn't handle them. So the old lady, boy, the only family she had, and now she lost him, lost her dog Cooper. Yeah, so you know when they was holding each other to get each other's body heat, yeah, she was so grief stricken, she just gave up. Yeah, the old man thought she was resting. But they had to they still had to go on, especially when they found out that there was some rats coming through their little sanctuary there. Yeah, so everybody, people hate rats, and everybody was freaking out. Latour, you see where the rat is going, and you see that this little hole behind the crucifix that they are going through. Yeah, you know where else? Yeah, so yeah, you ask Stephen to help him get the crucifix off the wall. Yeah, so he's seeing the where the rat is going. Yeah, there's a hole right there. There's another room at the end at the other side. So they grab anything that they can find, bang at the wall, make a little passageway. So everybody got through the passageway. The old man had to leave his dead wife behind. Yeah, if you're staying, I'm staying. I'm not leaving anybody behind again. Yeah, so he grabbed the old man. They went through the other room. Yeah, the Torah got the one of those glow sticks. Give a nice little smack. It comes on, throws it, get some light in that room. So they find that there's a set of stairs going up. Going up to where? Well, apparently it went up to the parking garage of the control office. So as Grace and the head guy, they're in the parking garage. They're about to leave. They hear the survivors, going, they hear the survivors screaming. Yeah, so the head guy, he moves things out the way. You see some fingers up there. Fingers to the drainage system. So they get, so he gets the diggers out. Yeah, everybody, all the survivors, they all go through. Now there's a piece of this moment that is missing, and I'm going to get to it right now. Back when they went to the other room, Latora and the rest of the group, they see the set of stairs. The group go up the stairs, and Latora, he was the last to go up there. Now, as they are going to go up to the going to try to break through the other room where the parking garage is at. Yeah, they try to break through that. The whole room is starting to collapse because people are starting to dig, right? So people are digging. Everything is starting to shake. There's a beam from the ceiling. It comes down. It breaks the ladder in half. The stairs. Not before Latora. He sees that the old lady's dog was still alive, so he went down. He grabbed the dog. He put it. He grabbed the dog. And he put it up he put him up the stairs. So everybody is up there. Latora, he's down there. Here comes the beam that breaks off. Latora, he's climbing up. The beam hits. Boom. Latora flies off into the water. And Madeline, she was on the other side. She falls off. And she hits the water too. No, wait a minute. Wait a minute. She was already up there. What am I thinking? Yeah, she was already up there. But yeah, the beam, he comes down, he hits Latora. He is right between Latora and the rest of the group. Latora, he flies off and he's in the water. And he's telling everybody to, keep going, just leave him behind. Madeline, she, Stephen, he take off his shirt. He gives it to Madeline. And, they're trying to use it as a rope. But they're too far up. Latora, he's down in the water. He can't reach it. And unfortunately Madeline, she falls through. She's holding the shirt. And, they slip. Stephen's holding her. They slip. She falls. And now she and Latora are there. They're down there. The rest of the group is up. The whole place is about to collapse. Yeah, you can't reach us. There's home up there. Yeah, so they have to leave Latora and Madeline behind. But I tell you, Madeline screaming out, "Yeah, don't leave me." But yeah, they all have to go. Yeah, so Stephen, he asks his daughter Ashley, played by Danielle Harris, to give him the flashlight. He tosses it down to them, and they gotta go. So that group, they finally got safety. Everybody is pulled out. All the EMS guys, they get into the hole. They helping out. They're helping out everybody, women and children first. Cooper, he comes up also. Stephen is the last to come up, and as he comes up, he's still looking down at the hole, knowing that Latora and Madeline is still down there, hoping that they will crawl up too. But they're not going anywhere. They're down there, and he's feeling guilty about it. But yeah, little Danielle, Ashley, she comes over and she consoles her dad. They're all safe. Yeah, so now that Latora and Madeline, they're down in the water, they got to go back to where they came. Yeah, use another blowout. Now, as the water is raising them up to the roof, Latora, You know, they've tried a little bit of dry ground. He gets the explosive ready, and you hear the whole place. Is starting to creak. You know, you keep trying, you piece of shit. Keep trying. How many chances do you need? You kill everybody else. You're not gonna kill me, cause I found your heart. I found your heart. There will blood on your body. Yeah, it punches right through the wet wall. He punches the explosive right through the wet wall. Yeah, so he got the fuses. Light those suckers. They get out the way. They find this car sitting there. They grab, Latour, he grabs onto the car. He reaches for Madeline. They got the explosion going on. A whole lot of dirt comes down on Latour. Madeline, she grabs his arm. She tries to pull him out of it. Yeah, she's standing on the car. She's trying to pull him out of it. They're both underwater still, completely underwater. The huge explosion is happening, and it's sucking all, the explosion, as powerful as it was before, you know, the power of the explosion, the charges and everything like that, it's pretty much blowing all the water up. It's like a huge geyser now. Yeah, so Madeline, she's trying to pull Latour out of the little trap that he got himself in. But unfortunately, the suction of the blast too powerful for her. She lets go. She gets sucked up. You know, in the floor of the Hudson River, it explodes, and everything that was in there, and everything, including Madeline, she gets sucked up. And it ends up right in the middle of the Hudson River, New York Hudson River. Yeah, she made it to daylight. And there's another explosion. And she sees that Latour also made it up, face down in the water, but she grabs him. She swims over, grabs him, and yeah, he's still alive. Ears bleeding, but he's still alive. So yeah, Coast Guard, they come around. They all made it to daylight, and everything is okay. When they finally made it to, the city, yeah, Madeline, she was ready to move out of New York, but when she made it back up to the surface, yeah, she never thought she would be so happy to see the city again. She looks up, she looks around, she has a smile on her face. So yeah, Latour, he laying on the stretcher. EMS guys, they got a coat, the chief's coat, put on Latour since he was a former chief. There you go, chief. Yeah, he pretty much said that he got his job back. He did a great job in getting everybody out. But yeah, Latour, he sees Grace. Yeah, he telling the paramedics to stop. Yeah, so he can give Grace her bracelet back. Yeah, so since Grace found out that George didn't make it, you know, she now knows that the bracelet, that George found earlier is now back in her hands. Man, that was George's last wish. And Latour, he honored it. But he honored that promise. So yeah, everybody made it out safely. in this movie. A few casualties here and there, unfortunately, but everybody made it out safely. But yeah, I tell you though, man, this movie, boy, Jesus, took me over an hour just to talk about this movie. Like I said, man, this is a very powerful movie. My favorite Stallone film. And yeah, it took me a lot of time just to talk about this movie. So yeah, I tell you though, it's just one of those movies that you should never, ever, ever pass up. If you're a Star subscriber right now, check this movie out. Get familiar with this movie. I mean, if you sat through this long ass review, oh boy, God bless you. It may not have been the first time you done it too, considering the fact that American Ninja 4 got some pretty high numbers now. So yeah, if you sat through this long ass review, thank you for sticking with me. This movie is a straight 5 out of 5 daylight. Favorite Stallone movie ever, period. Straight 5 out of 5. That's my long ass review, Jack, and I'm sticking to it. Now, next week, gonna be messing around with more Sylvester Stallone, and hopefully I'll be going live again. Not really enthused about going live, considering the fact that last time I went live, things did not work out as well as I hoped. But hopefully I'll be going live with my partner of the next review of a Stallone classic. And when I say Stallone classic, I mean this movie changed Stallone's career forever. As a matter of fact, this movie made his career. All he had to do was dig through the personal anguish of trying to build up one's career, and he had to pull on a set of boxing gloves to do it. Yeah, so check out my other shit right here. Subscribe to me right here. But in the meantime, in between time, Jack, once again, thanks for sticking with me for this long period of time, because this show is